Hello and welcome back to another character creation video. My name's Lumen and today we're having a look at Avowed. Avowed is a first-person fantasy RPG set in the world of Eora, where your choices carve a path through war, intrigue, and ancient mysteries. Navigate a land in turmoil, forge powerful alliances or deadly rivalries, and wield magic and steel to shape the fate of the living lands and your own destiny. I am genuinely excited for this one, just like so many other people. Ever since Avowed was announced, I've been eager to dive in. As a huge fan of Skyrim and as someone that loves the world of Eora from Pillars of Eternity, and an admirer of pretty much everything that Obsidian creates, this feels like something that was made for me and me alone. It also has a character creation and customization system that is unique and interesting and exciting, and that's why we're here. So, if you would like to do a deep dive to discover all there is to discover about Avowed, you can find some links below, and as always there will be timestamps, lots of them. Use them, find what you're looking for, and leave satisfied. I will also mention right here at the start of the video that I was lucky enough to receive a code for this game from Obsidian, which I appreciate tremendously. In this video we're going to have a look at the presets available. There are a lot of them and they look fantastic. We'll do female customization, then male customization. In both of those, I will show you the differences between the human and elf body types and faces. Then we'll have a look at the backgrounds, the attribute choices, the voices and other extras. I'll do the outro, and then finally, I will include some custom creations that I made for the thumbnail or just for fun. You can check those out along with the presets if you want a quick and dirty look at what's available. So, let's jump in and create our envoy. First up, the presets. I firmly believe that this is all you need. And I mean, that's saying something, because it's not often that the presets are so impressive and so cool and such perfect fits. But in this case, they nailed it. The presets that are available here, they're a mix of the body types of the male and females and so on and so forth. And they also have a decent selection of the godlike features that they called, and you will see them as we go through here on the different characters that are available. And they've done some really striking stuff with it, with the splashes of color, with the cool extras. It's just so nice to look at. I love it. I really do. And I think that if you just jump in here, you look at these and you find one of these that you like, you could basically pick one of these. I mean, oh jeez, look at some of these. Look at this, look at the color involved. Just look at it. You could pick the one you like here, and you could either just jump in, or you could tweak one or two minor things. Say for instance you like this one, you could just jump in, perhaps change the hair color, and then you're good to go if you like the rest of it. But I really believe that they did a great job here, and I love when you jump into a game and you see these examples that were obviously created by human beings that were passionate about this game, and you see just how passionate they were and how creative they were with all the different options that they added. You know, they could have easily just skipped this and they could have just let you make your own characters, give you no inspiration, nothing like that. And look at these cool options, man. Oh, it's phenomenal. So I'm going to go through them one more time because I can't get enough of all the different options here. And when you jump in and you actually start fiddling with the sliders, with the different bits and pieces that you can add to your character to make them look and feel cool and unique and fun, you will see. You will see. It's great. It's great. And, you know, these examples, they belie what's truly lying beneath, because they let you just run free with the options. Like, you are unrestrained when you hit up those sliders, and that is also just excellent. Another extra that I would like to mention here about the presets that I think is quite important is you can quite easily just pick a preset here, and then you can switch the body type from male to female, and you can also switch it from the human to the elf body. And the main difference with that is the human body is slightly larger, a little bit bulkier basically, and then the ears obviously. But I'll give you an example quickly. Let's say we like this one a lot. Then if we jump in here and we change the body type, I'll zoom in again, then you can just make this a male character. Or you can just change it, not that you can see the ears here, but you can change it to the elf body type and it works. And that's not to say that the options are the same on all of them, because there are some different options, but it does sort of like a smart reconfiguration, and it allows you to just change it over. And I think that's amazing, because some of these, you could be like, wow, I really like this style on this one, but, you know, I'd like a beard, I'd like to make my character a little bit more masculine, and you can just pop over to there, and it's like, hey, good, look at that. It's a perfect fit. I love it. I just love it. Now, for the purposes of the customization in this video, as we create our envoy here, I am going to just take the first one that we have available. We're going to jump in with this preset, but before we do so, I will also just show you, or I'll show you as we jump into the body options here, the body options and the body types without the armor on. So there you go. That's your human female body type. This is your human male. There you are. One small criticism I would give is that I would have liked an option for some musculature, you know, because oftentimes, and I understand this, the devs don't want to give you too much freedom with the changes and the modifications to the body, because it could mess with the game, with armor you put on, with the way your character looks in cutscenes and stuff like that. But when you add just muscle definition, it doesn't mess with that. So that's one thing I would have loved to have seen. Personally, I wouldn't have minded putting some more muscles on the female body type, because the male body type's pretty stacked. I mean, look at that. Jeez. You could grate cheese on those abs, alright? So it would be cool if we could change the female body type a little more as well. Just musculature, that would be nice. But with that said, I'm going to show you the body options separately. So I'm going to show you the skin tones very briefly now, because this is sort of the same on all of them. For the skin tones, they give you a decent selection here, and I actually like one thing that they've done. I'll get to it in just a moment. This is the curated selection here. What I like is that they have given us a temperature slider here that is easier to read for everyone. And sometimes it's a bit of a mystery, like what you're getting into when you start sliding these sliders around. But you've got the tone here where you can go brighter or darker, and then you can set the temperature, and it's quite clear that it's changing. It's quite a impactful choice and difference, and like, you know, you can actually see it going from the warm tone to the cold tone, and it's quite a stark contrast, you know, and that's nice to see. It's clear. You've got the cool colors here, the cool tone, and you got the warm one over there. Boom, 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 done. Excellent, right? So for the body types, again, they are much the same, but the way I'm going to handle this is, while they are the same, while they have sort of similar aspects to them, at the start of each section here, I'm just going to throw the different faces in, because that's our next choice. It'll be our faces. I'm going to start by just going on the human female. I'm going to show you the faces, then I'll show you the elf female's faces, because they are slightly different, and you might want to see them. So as we jump into human female here, I will just show you, there are a bunch of nice faces to pick from here. These are just serve-in suggestions. These are presets that you can roll with, and they're beautiful. There are lots of really nice choices here. I like that they have some choices that are younger looking, more petite looking, sort of, they have a finer face, and then they have some slightly older looking ones, and I feel slightly more mature looking ones, and it's good. It's good. It's more than enough. So that's the human female ones. Now the elf female ones are super similar, but if you do compare them, and I took a screenshot of them and I looked at the faces specifically, there are some slightly different ones. There are some small variations between them. It's important for some people, you know. You might want to find that perfect face or create that perfect face, and you might not find it on the one, but you might find it on the other. You may realize that the elves don't have that slightly older or mature looking face at the end. They've got a slightly different one here, which is cool. It's nice. But for the purposes of this video, we'll just jump in on the human female, and then we will move on to the next step. I'm going to take the basic face here. These are important. I'm going to say it now. It's like your face choice is something that is sort of unique. So the one that you pick here will look a little different. You can't get exactly the same with just the sliders. It's an important choice. Like if you want to look slightly older, you take the slightly older looking face with like the more worn skin and slight wrinkles and stuff like that. If you want to look younger, if you want to look like you have slightly more angular features and stuff like that, you pick the one that works for you. You are also choosing your ethnicity here. As you can see, you have different shapes on the lips and the noses and stuff like that. Important choice. Speaking of important choices, Godlike features. 100% my favorite part of this character creation system. I'm gonna love every time I jump in here. You are a godlike, a rare individual born, blessed or cursed, with a connection to one of the gods. Godlike manifest their divine heritage in unique physical features and innate abilities that reflect their patron deity. Different cultures may view them with suspicion, reverence, or curiosity. Strangely enough, many of the godlike have disappeared from the world in recent years, but you have not. Stranger still, you've never learned which god touched your soul. I love that, dude. They set up the mystery before the opening of the game. It's excellent. So, the godlike facial features, you can display them or you can hide them, but the NPCs will still think you're godlike. Okay, whether you have them or not, it's part of the game's story. You're the envoy, you come in there, you godlike, you got those powers. It sort of all blends together. So I would say, hey, just go nuts and put them on and have fun with them. The godlike features, there's not a massive selection here, and I will say it would have been cool if we could have had something slightly modular with them. I'll tell you what I mean by that in just a moment. But they are going to look different based on the character that you have. So as an example, I have this really light skin tone right now, so you can sort of barely see what this one looks like. But obviously you can see it in the picture over there. If you take a darker skin tone, you will see way more of that. And I will show you an example of it just now, because I want to be thorough here. Of course I want to be thorough. I'm going through them, and they look excellent. I love the fungal inspiration. It's sort of like you are Fey-touched or something like that. And it is one of the more unique twists on character creation that I've seen in my time making these videos. It's colorful, it's vibrant, it's full of life. And I really mean it's full of life. And it's just, look at it. It's kind of over the top, but in a fantastic way. Like this one, as an example, is just awesome. It's sort of like, what if The Last of Us was a whimsical fairy story instead of the horrible creation that it is? You know what I'm saying? It's really cool. We're going to look at the hair features quickly now. I'll take these out so you can sort of see what they actually look like. And the hair features are also just excellent. They look phenomenal. They look great. You will have to just excuse my constant zoom in out accidentally. The mouse is incredibly sensitive for some reason, and I struggle to turn it and have it turn sort of safely, easily, without zooming out. I don't know what they did. The camera controls need to be a little bit better, but there you go. That's what it looks like. That's the hair stuff there. And it's like, it's really detailed as well, right? It's like, it's incredibly detailed. I love it. So, as I mentioned, what I'm going to do quickly is I'm just going to come over here and I will put... we don't need to have this on. You can change this one to show off. But what I will do is I will take a slightly darker skin tone very briefly, and I will just show you what these would look like on that. Because there's a lot of detail that, I don't want to say gets lost, but that you don't see. Look at that beautiful stuff on her cheek over there. Like, isn't that sick? A lot of this is just so much clearer. That one you can see is not so clear, but it's so much more visible when you have the darker skin tones, and it adds that splash of color to the character's face and to their visual appearance and style and stuff that can be appreciated a little more on the darker skin tone. Let's show this again. And I mean, you can just go nuts. You can load the stuff on you, and I mean, look, oh. Like, how do you resist? How do you not go for this? I love it. It's so cool. I realize it's not everyone's cup of tea, but it's, man, it's mine. It is mine indeed. I say while removing it from the character. Oh, I feel so bad doing that. So we're going to go back on this one, and we're going to continue to the next section. Godlike features, they are a godlike addition to this character creation system. Excellent. Hair. One of my favorites. Usually, not in this case, I prefer the godlike features, but there are a lot of really nice hairstyles here. I really wish I could rotate the camera slightly easier, but I'll try my best, okay? We've got a bunch of hairstyles here, and I just, again, excuse me for not doing so good with the camera. We've got a decent selection of nice short ones that you could want if you're playing a male character, but you could also want if you're playing a female character. I am personally quite fond of short hair, no matter the character. I always go for short hair if it's my own personal choice. It's just me. It's a me thing. Not everyone is like me, but I am like me. And I appreciate that they cater to me. So we've got a nice selection here. The hair, the short hair. Usually it's my first port of call when I want to complain. Believe it or not, it's like my first port of call is, hey man, why didn't you put a bunch of nice short styles in? No, they did. This time around, no complaints there. None. They got some unique styles here, some interesting styles. You can go for the ever so famous broccoli cut that the kids nowadays seem to love. You've obviously got the Killmonger in here and other similar styles. And this is pretty unique, by the way. I've not seen a style like this before in a game. They've really got a selection here that, once again, and this is something I might end up saying a bunch, and I excuse myself for it immediately. They've got a selection that feels like it was made by a bunch of people that just enjoy what they do. They love what they do. It's like if they were just ho-humming along, not caring about what they were putting into the game, not caring about the final product. They'd just add a few basic styles and be done with it. Here, man, look at it. And I mean, the hair physics and stuff work in relatively well here. It's not extreme or over the top, but they work in relatively well to give you enough movement to make it seem that it's at least a little bit realistic, and that's sick. Because, I mean, you don't want too much always if you can't do it right. In this case, well, it looks good, it feels good, and I dig it. The long styles here are also excellent. I love these combed back long styles. I think that they fit quite nicely. The hairstyles in general and overall are shared between the different body types, the male and female, you know, so that's cool. They also have a great selection of things like the afros and the dreads and the braids and stuff like that. I think that they've definitely covered those bases, and I would be happy with this. Like 100%. I would be. There we go. Oh, this is beautiful. I can't get enough of it. I would also have maybe suggested that they give us a slightly more plain background for our character, not this weird little banner that they've got hanging here. This is probably one of the nicest hairstyles that I've seen in my time making characters and looking at hair on characters' heads. I'll say why, is that there is a huge amount of detail, a lot of individual strands, but not so much that it looks out of place and looks off on the character's head. They've got fantastic joints to the scalp here, and I mean, you can just get lost in these locks, you know, in these dread locks. Then they've got these nice little extras on here that just look phenomenal, and I mean, it just comes together. It looks perfect, and a lot of the other hairstyles are similar for me. Like, I feel the same way about a lot of the others. I'm a fan. I'm going to go with something like this for continuing and for looking at the other options. Mostly just because I want the hair out of the face. Alright? Now, you can do hair root color and you can do highlight color. So, unfortunately, it's going to take me a moment. I'm going to go through them like this. So, I'll have this here and I will skip. I'll do this one and then I'll do this one so we can look at the hair color. I don't think I can zoom in further. That's a good angle over there. But you need to apply them both to basically look at the colors that are available. And I mean, it's fine. I only apologize because it takes a moment to go through all of these. They give us the grounded in reality colors here. They give us the sort of normal ones that you would expect to find in a video game or on a character's head. But as you can see quite clearly, there is room for more. So if we go back over here and I just show you what the blackest of black looks like, I will say that I'm impressed by it. And I like that they give us the option to go darker, because that initial black that they gave was not dark enough for me. I love the way the black hair looks here. But you can actually do anything you want. So if you pull the saturation all the way up, you pull the brightness all the way up, boom. You've suddenly got Oblivion Yellow. I like to call that Oblivion Yellow because of that one character. You know the one. You guys know the one. It's excellent, but the amount that it changes is just phenomenal. Like, this is it. You've got all that you need, full RGB, and to be perfectly honest with you, I think it fits. I think it suits the game quite wonderfully, just again because of the crazy stuff that they let you do, like the godlike features. And, you know, your character just won't look all that out of place if you have, as a good example, let's say this beautiful blue, and then you throw one of the godlike features on, it gels. And I mean, like, if I had to go through this and painstakingly make a perfect character, which I'm going to do, by the way, then I would be able to find a color that sort of gels well with the godlike feature that you've chosen. Like, as an example here, it would be kind of cool if you could take this godlike feature and throw, like, as an example, the purple that we've got there on it, on the hair, then you could, there we go, well, purple, I'm sorry, I'm really bad with colors. You throw the purple on there and you get that sort of, you know, link between the two. It's so cool. There's just so much you can do with it and so much fun you can have with it. So the color system for the hair, excellent. I will give you a quick example of what the highlights look like if you go all out with them. It basically allows you to blend the two, and I will just quickly also switch between two different hairstyles so you can see what I mean. It gives you a nice mix of the two, but it does not have, on all the styles at least, the full highlights visible, if you know what I'm saying. So it's not like it's add-in streaks or stuff like that, nothing like that, but it still works pretty well, and you can still mix colors quite nicely. So yeah, I mean, I'm okay with it. I think it's pretty cool. Now, I'm going to go back to sort of the similar color to what we had before, and then we're going to continue, right? Facial hair. You can put the facial hair on the female body types. Yes, yes you can. And that's awesome. Why not? It looks good. It's like it suits her. I'm going to set this to the same as the hair color. There you go. It's just an option down here. And I will go through these. I will be honest, the beards and stuff, I feel the bigger beards look excellent. And I did feel like the smaller beards and the stubble and stuff were good, but not the best I've ever seen, which is fine. It's totally fine. The bigger beards are the ones that I think you want to look good, especially from this point on. These, I feel, look excellent. And I'm going to also say that it might come down to color choices, because I've had a quick peek at this before I started recording, and I felt like what's basically on show from here all the way through to the end, it just works better in terms of the textures that they have on there, in terms of the way that it's presented on the face and so on and so forth. Not that I'm, like, you know, dissing any of these top ones, because the mustaches look amazing. But yeah, I do believe these ones look excellent, and they are the better choices. I like the beards. I think they've been sort of done relatively well, and I think that the one thing I would say which would be cool is if we had some, basically a separate option for mustaches and beards. So you could throw this mustache maybe on like one of the bigger beards and so on and so forth. But overall the beards do look nice. Your colors and your highlights, they work exactly the same as on the hair. So I won't show you that in its entirety, but you can do all the same stuff on there. Right. That brings us to the next set of options, our sliders, finally. Now, I'm going to ask you to just sit down carefully and be ready, brace, because it gets kind of nuts here. I sort of mentioned this early on, that they don't take themselves too seriously. Yes, there it is. They don't take themselves too seriously with this. It's like, come on, man. You go from this and you slide it down. Look at her little eyes. Look at that. His little pig eyes looking back at me. I mean, jeez. It gets to a point when you move these around where you think to yourself, what the hell? And that's exactly where you want to be. I just want to put that out there. That's exactly where you want to be. Thank you, Obsidian. Thank you. You wanted to be like, what the hell? How is this Steve Buscemi times 100? What happened? it's perfect. And it's not the end, by the way. So you can go anywhere you want with this, but you can also move it around. And I'm going to show you on the extreme side of things. You can go nuts. Like, you can go so nuts that the eyes will pop out of the sockets if you're not careful. Like, you can do that. You move things around so much so that it will start to look a little out of place. I'm not joking. Now, for the eye colors, there are some decent selections here to start with, but I do believe that you're probably going to want to have fun with it, and yeah, why wouldn't you? You can have fun with it. I was quite impressed that it was as bright as it is with such a small amount of real estate. Your hue that you select here, the color that you go with, is just super duper bright. Like, even when you zoom all the way out, those are teeny weeny little eyes, but they're still visible. You can still see them. So kudos to these guys. They made some nice looking eyes. They look sort of good and or realistic, you know, in a way, but they also allow you to just go full fantasy and do whatever you want with the color. That's great. That's excellent. I love the choices that are available. You can do the eyes separately, both eye colors together, or you can go for left and right. You can do the heterochromia thing. Great. 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 Like, legitimately, no complaints. It's just a good system. No fancy different irises or anything like that. Nothing along those lines. But, you know, you can still go nuts over here if you'd like to, and that's cool. Brows. So if you take the eye options and the brow options together and you mess with them, you can absolutely make some pretty funky stuff. I kid you not. It's crazy. Like, you can really go all out with it. And if you look, these don't start on 0, all of them. So if you move them all back to 0, then you will be back on a face that you didn't actually select initially, because some of these were changed for the face that you got. Eyebrow color, nothing much to see here. I will say it would have been cool to have an actual choice of eyebrows. It's like everyone has the same eyebrows right now, which is fine. It's okay. But like, it would have been nice to have a choice, just a small choice. Yeah, so your eyebrow colors, you have a bunch of them here. And they can display the hair color to its fullest, no problem. No problem whatsoever. You can do whatever you want here with the bright colors. And it does look good. Right? So that's it. Nose. Yep. Yep, yep, yep. Just, yep. You can go pretty large. You can go pretty up, pretty down. I'll show you what I mean. It's like, hey man, I'm a Who from Whoville now. You can do anything. It's like a goddamn coat hanger. What is this? Oh no. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So like, there's fun to be had here if you want to. You can cross some lines that shouldn't be crossed, and yeah. And again, like, please just have a look at the preview, the spotlight that I have at the end, my custom characters, because you will see some hideous amalgamations at the end of this video. Cheeks, cheek width, decent movement here, cheek depth, there's a lot there as well. Then your jaw options, also just nuts. Look at that, look how teeny weeny you can make that. And if you bring them all together, like if you do this as an example, it's like, it's really small. This is the jaw depth, you can't really even see it over there. You can also bring it all the way up and go full Disney Prince if you'd like to. It's a lot of movement. I thank the devs once again for giving us all of this. Also, once again, full Disney Prince on the chin. Or full, well, this. Whatever the heck this is. Like, you just remove the chin entirely. But if you go all the way full, look at this. It's, yeah. I mean, you could call it Giga Chad if you want to be all 2025 here. Me, I live in the past. It's Disney Prince. That's it. Mouth options. Yeah. Yeah. That's it. You can close that up completely. Oh, jeez, look at that pucker. Perfect. Lip position, up and down. And the depth. It's actually quite an impactful choice. You just can't see it from the front. There you go. And then our final options, our ears. These are slightly different based on the ears that you have, but you can imagine it's the same stuff. You just move in elf ears up and down versus moving human ears up and down. You can make them pretty large, you can make them pretty small. It's all good. It's perfect. More than enough. Now, we move on to the complexion options. There are some decent choices here. You've got some beauty spots, some freckles, and some dirt, I think. There's some dirt to pick for. I don't know. I guess that's dirt. There's just a few things to make your face look a little more textured, a little different. You can set the amount. You can set the spread. Both of these work sort of dynamically to give you more or less. And it's the same with, as an example, the freckles. I believe that if I was going to go freckles, I'd probably put the spread at around 50%. And the amount is just the opacity, by the way. So you can sort of, you know, there you go. I think it's kind of cool. It's put together nicely. Then you can change the color. And I like this because this allows you to do some fun stuff with it. You can go for a more impactful color, a darker one, or you can go for something that I like to call the celestial freckles. This one. It's always fun to add something like this, especially if you have darker skin tones. I think that there's also a nice sort of choice to be made with like a darker skin tone and like a gold or a silvery color, you know, that can work quite nicely. I've done that to great effect before. A lot of cool stuff that you can do here, like absolutely. And this does apply to all the different options, and I think people will get creative with it. Yeah, so we'll take it off for now as we move on, and we'll go on to the lips. The lip options, I'm going to push that up to the top so you can see the colors. Let's choose a brighter color like the red, and then I'll show you what's available. That's just basically a slightly darker shade around the edges. Then we've got some full-on lipstick here. We've got the line at the bottom. I kind of like this zigzag here. I don't know exactly what that's meant to be or signify, but I like it. Then you got some slightly glossier looking ones, and you got a little heart. Not a fantastically huge selection here, but it's okay. It's alright. Then your amount is just your opacity, and the shine is the glossiness on it. You can change the colors. Let's go for the full ones so that we can see the color nicely. Decent selection here. Yeah. Very nice. Very nice. But best option is obviously just to do it yourself. Get something going, you know, get some nice accent in colors here. You know, you could probably make something pretty cool looking if you combine this with the godlike features once again. I'm sure you can. I believe in you guys. But there you go. We'll take that off for now. And we'll move on to the facial scars. The facial scars in this game are actually relatively cool. I'm going to set them on the darkest. Just know that this is over the top. I want to point that out right here. This is over the top. That's sort of like here in the middle, sort of where it's supposed to be, where it looks quote unquote realistic. I'm pushing it over the top so you can see the design, right? So it doesn't need to look like this. It can look like an actual scar. And you just need to know that as I go through here. I just want you to see the cool designs that they have. And there are some really cool designs. One of the points I feel where this system really shines. The one thing I will not so much complain about that I will point out is I feel like the texture work on some of these is not amazing. Perhaps that's why we're not zooming in all the way. I don't know. But the texture work could be a little better. And I do believe it would be cool if we could combine some of these, you know. But otherwise, yeah, it looks alright. Again, I feel the texture work could use some touching up on some of these, but otherwise it's pretty cool. And there's some unique options here that look sort of like scales or whatever. This looks like you got a massive thumbprint on your face. It's cool. I mean, it's just damn cool. If we take, let's take this as an example, can change the colors. These ones make it look more natural. It makes it look like your skin has sort of been scarred and then healed. I think that's really cool. It's a nice choice to make. However, you can go pretty dark. They don't let you go full-on colors with it. But I do believe that the white and the black will offer some pretty interesting choices if you'd like to go that direction. It's cool. Yeah. Eyeliner. This is more than just eyeliner. I'm going to say that right now. There's a lot going on here because you actually have multiple colors, and I'm showing you that immediately. They have up to 3 colors. I'm going to leave the colors on the default while I show you these because they have a decent selection of contrasting colors here, but just know that you can change them, and it's a lot. It's just a lot. There's a lot of cool stuff that you can do. I mean, as you can see, I'm going to have a lot of fun with this. I'm sort of predicting this right now. I'm going to have a lot of fun making the characters that I make. And I think that some of these, I specifically, I love this one. Some of these are going to look excellent on some of the characters that I'm already envisioning in my mind. Very cool. So, as an example, let's take this one. It's nice and bright. There we go. You can change the opacity on it. Then you can change the colors. So you can make that first one much brighter. You can make it any color you want, actually. So if we want to make it like a bright blue, purple, here we go. There. Then the shine on it, you can put more glossiness on. You can make this one, let's go for like a white on this one. There we go. It works quite nicely with the blue. Put the shine up as well. And then the final one, let's go for... I don't know if I can actually see them right now. Where is it? Oh, is that the freckles? That's not really displaying all that nicely. Okay, but I was going to say, let's go for like a red on that. Just to get like full gaudiness. Over the topness. Let's see if we can find one with 3 different colors. There we go. Oh, that actually looks excellent. Wow. Very cool. So, yeah, it's a pretty robust system. And there's a lot you can do. And now there's makeup. And like, as if that wasn't enough. The makeup options, again, I'm just going to push this up. If there is a slider, there's no slider for it. It is just what it is. Okay. But there's an amount. There we go. Okay, there's the slider. Excellent. So I'm just going to go through these. You will see there's, again, a decent selection of options. They have the same colors chosen here, where they've got like the light color and then the murky green, like sort of swamp color. Good options here, again. Oftentimes these might not make sense for you because you're going to be using things like the godlike features, and it might detract from that. You might distract people and it might not look as good. But overall, there are a bunch that could look decent here, I feel. And I mean, this actually I think this is like a stubble that you can put onto your character. Yeah, that's actually really smart. You can just throw some stubble on your character. I didn't see that before. And yeah, I mean, overall, you've just got a bunch of really nice choices here. I'll just put this back on the light color so you can see. And you can probably combine them once again with things like the scars, the eyeliner, the lipstick, the complexion stuff, and all the rest to make some decent designs. Absolutely. And I mean, the options that they have here, they aren't sort of like common options that you just see in every game always. You know, they don't go with like the standard tribal stuff, the standard face paint stuff. They've got some unique colors here. They got some unique options here. They got some unique choices here that just look good. Speaking of colors, you can choose whatever you want here. Full RGB once again. They really just let you go nuts with it. And I mean truly nuts with it. That's why I think that for a little while at least, you're probably not going to see everything that this system is capable of. It'll take players a little while to sort of wrap their heads around what they can do with it. Because there's going to be a lot of options. There's going to be a lot of like really cool characters coming out as people mess with it and spend more time with it. It's really nice. So you can do whatever you want with this. Cool, 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 nice. And that is actually the end of the customization for female. The next option here would have been our background, which we're going to have a look at after we do the male customization. You can skip there right now using the timestamps if you'd like. For now, I'm going to jump back here. And it is time to look at male customization. Yeah, let's do it. Now, the male body types you may have seen at the start already when we looked at the body types. You've got the human body and the elf body. They are very similar. The human's slightly bigger. Elf is slightly smaller. The ears are different. And that's, for the most part, that. Now, skin tones. I'm going to just quickly show this off here at the start in case you skipped to here. You can go pretty dark. You can go pretty cool. And you can go pretty warm on it. And then you have all the presets over here that will give you sort of curated options that are just, you know, good. They fit. They work. So you can't go wrong with these. They're cool. I'm also going to show you now something that I did on the female side of things, the face presets. So the human presets are slightly different from the elf presets. On the humans, you have... And I should probably take the facial hair off quickly. Let me just do that so you can see everything clearly. But on the humans, you have some more variety, I would say, where you have some different ethnicities and you have slightly older looking characters as well, right? On the elf side of things, you have finer features. You have characters that sort of look a little more timeless because the elves obviously don't age the same way, but you won't find stuff exactly like this on the elf side of things. So we'll go there quickly and I'll show you what I mean. On the elf side of things, you have slightly smaller face. You have some of the same. Some of them do cross over. You have some of the same ones, but you have a bunch of younger looking dudes, and you have a bunch of dudes with slightly more chiseled features, and so on and so forth. I'm going to be brutally honest, and I will say that I do personally think that the male faces are not quite as well put together as the female ones. Like, I believe that the selection that they have for the females is better than the selection that they have for the males. Nothing wrong with the male faces. I think that they look fine, but I do believe that the females have a nicer selection. Not a problem, though. It's all good. Again, for the purposes of this video, we are going to jump in with this fellow right here, because I kind of like that as a face. Then I'm going to once again just quickly take off the facial hair, and then we're going to move on. So, face preset, quite important. It is your starting point, and it is important to understand that if you want an older looking character, if you want a character with, let's say, more Eastern eyes, if you want a character with a different style of nose, you're going to want to pick the face preset here that works for you. Because while you can change a lot of the stuff with sliders, you can't change all of the options available, so it matters. Right? Now we'll move on to probably my favorite part of the character creation system, the godlike features. We did look at this on the female side, but we're looking at it again on the male side. You are a godlike, a rare individual born blessed or cursed with a connection to one of the gods. Godlike manifest their divine heritage in unique physical features and innate abilities that reflect their patron deity. Different cultures may view them with suspicion, reverence, or curiosity. Strangely enough, many of the godlike have disappeared from the world in recent years, but you have not. Stranger still, you have never learned which god touched your soul. You can turn the godlike features on or off. So you can press this button right here, and then you won't see it. But the NPCs will still treat you as a godlike. So just put them on, have some fun, let loose. Or, I mean, it's up to you guys. Make the character you want to make. But as you go through these options, you'll see why I say just turn them on, because they are excellent. So for the godlike features, it's a bunch of really, really interesting, colorful, vibrant, full of life choices that you can make here that can honestly determine the look and feel of your character almost entirely. Like, this is it, right? If you pick the option that you like here, if you pick one of these bigger or crazier ones, you are setting up the very heart and soul of your character's true being here. I mean, like, it's like, this is kind of intense. Nothing else you change on this character creation is going to match that. You know, the splendor of your god-touched, god-like facial features. I mean, where else will you see shelf mushrooms in action and with such variety and color? But seriously, it looks really good. It's like your character is a log that was lying in the forest for too long, but it wasn't a regular forest, it was a fey-touched forest. And, well, look at it. I said on the female side of things, it's sort of like if The Last of Us was a whimsical adventure through a fairy land, instead of what it is now, dark and depressing. You know, this could have been, right? So you have a lot of nice options here. I think that it would have been nice, it would have benefited them if they gave some of these as like modular pieces, where you could add or remove certain bits and pieces. If you could, like, as an example, take this one, but then just use one half, but not the other half. This one, and just have it on the one eye, not the other eye. That would have been cool, and I think that's pretty easy to implement. So yeah, so a little bit more flexibility with these godlike features would be cool. For the purposes of this, I'll just take that, then I'll show you the hair. Same situation, you can hide or show it. And I love, by the way, how it gels into the head here, how it connects sort of seamlessly. The hair options, even more extreme, and they look phenomenal. Like, there's just no two ways about it, they look phenomenal. They look excellent. Really, really cool. I dig it. There you go. And you can combine them. So, hey. You can go just nuts. Like, yeah, you want to skip on character creation completely. You want to just do the RoboCop version of character creation. This is what you do. You choose this as your godlike features. Then all you got to do is the hair and the mouth. And that's a beautiful mouth right there. So we're just good to go, right? So you can go nuts with it. You can do whatever, or you can hide it. And that's what we're going to do for the video right now. As much as it pains me to hide that, I'm going to hide it, and we're going to continue to the hair options here. I like the hair in this. Usually hair is my favorite thing to customize, but they added the godlike features to this game, so, well, it's not my favorite anymore. It actually looks a little like Jude Law right now. It's not really, like, we'd have to make this face a little smaller. The chin is too strong. Jude Law's chin is a little softer than that, but the eyes, yeah, the eyes and the hairstyle, that's Jude Law, man. Okay, let's keep going. Nice short hairstyles here, by the way. Not often that I actually compliment the short hair that they have in a system like this. Not often, but yeah, I mean, I'm complimenting it right now. I'm saying, man, good job. You've got a nice selection here, and they really do cover all the bases, which is also something that I don't often see. I would say that the norm would probably be about half of what they have here, and the only thing that I personally saw properly missing was something like a mohawk. And I mean like a real one, not this thing here. Like a big mohawk. But there might be a reason lore-wise that you don't have mohawks. I doubt it. I think it might have just been an oversight. But I like mohawks, and I think it would have been cool. You know, just nudge nudge, wink wink. Add mohawk. I'd like to see the patch notes tomorrow saying, because Lumen, the self-proclaimed character creation specialist, said we don't have mohawks, we've added one. And then we'll just see cheers erupt from the crowd. The crowd being the entire world and internet, because we all like mohawks, don't we? So you can do Anything you like with the hair, regardless of your body type, you can go male or female and you'll have all the same choices. And I think that's good. I think that's the way to approach this. This is the same reason you can have the beards on the ladies. It's no biggie. You should never put limits on stuff like that. And I think it makes sense, you know? It's just fair. Because there's nowhere written that I cannot have nice, luscious locks. Or that my wife can't have nice short hair. She has short hair right now, and it looks excellent on her. So yeah. Equality. Heck yes, man. Excellent styles. Excellent texture work. Excellent physics. It's all just really nice. It comes together. I must say, this one actually looked nicer on my female character than on the male one. It's something to do with the connection to the head over there. Now, for the purposes of the video, we will take a nice short style. This is kind of nice. I like this. It sort of flows a little bit. It's sort of neat and tidy, but also a little adventurous. We'll do that. We're going to slide down now to the hair colors. Now, for the hair colors, I will show you the preset colors quickly before I do anything else. And you will see that there's a decent selection, and most of it is sort of like, yeah, man, what you'd expect from normal, I'm making air quotes, hair colors. But you can also just go nuts. I like going nuts. The dark hair that you can set here can go darker because there's a highlight over here. Yeah, it looks pretty good. It looks nice. The pitch black is just the right amount of darkness. But you can also just pull this slide all the way up, pull this one all the way up, and go crazy. Now keep in mind that if I want to do this, if I pull this one all the way up and this one all the way up, it'll be a little even brighter than it was before, right? So just know that there might be some color that sort of bleeds in from the bottom, the highlights over here. But you can go anywhere. You can go for the brightest red, the brightest yellow, the brightest pink or purple. It's like, hey, the world is your oyster when it comes to customization here. For the highlights, it's not the best highlight system I've ever seen. You basically add in just a splash. On some of the styles, there are actual bits and pieces that are individually changing, but on some of the other styles, it's just sort of like, hey man, there's two colors and we're mixing them. I'll show you what I mean. So if you go for this one, let's pick the darker color. You will notice that no matter what you do here, not much there, right? If you scroll up here, let's go for this one as an example. You can see it on sort of like the tips. There we go. Barely changing. Not the greatest highlight system, but it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. I would say that you can definitely get the hair color that you want. Like, there's just no two ways about it, right? You will find the color that you want. 100%. Again, for this video, I will take that style that I mentioned earlier. It was this one. And we'll continue. Yeah, I apologize if this guy does not work for you. Maybe we'll just change his hair a little darker, because I think it looked nicer a little. There we go. But yeah, almost Jude Law is our choice. Facial hair. There are some nice options here. I'm going to immediately set it to match our hair. Right? There you go. I feel like that makes sense. You've got the same two options for color, where you have the roots and the highlights. But let's look at these mustaches and these beards. I like the way that they've put them together. I think that this is pretty nice. And I discovered that there was a makeup set-in to add stubble, if you'd like to. Like a 5 o'clock shadow kind of stubble, like even smaller than this. And it can actually make it look much nicer, in my opinion. Because some of the faces, they have some textures here that sort of look like they had a beard, but you can actually add extra to it. I like the beards in this game. I think that the bigger ones specifically look excellent. From this point on, these big ones look really nice. They've been put together with love and care and attention and affection. There could be more. There could always be more. But I think that these look good enough. You know, this character sort of looks like Chris Pine meets Jude Law. That's what we've got here. But the mustache that they have here, the big ones, this specifically is really nice. It would be more cool if we had a few more mustaches, maybe. And then the bigger beards, as I said, I kind of like them. For the colors, I'm not going to go too much into it, but you can do all the same stuff that you did with your hair. Everything. Full RGB. You do what you want, and it works. Excellent. But, again, I will, for the purposes of this, I'll turn that back, turn that off. that's it for the face, the features, and the hair. Now we're going to move on to the actual sliders. For our eyes, it's it's quite extreme. I'll say that. It's quite extreme. You can pull it all the way down, and then the eyes basically disappear into your skull. Or you can go all the way up, and oh my god. It's nice. It's nice. And they don't hold back with any of these sliders. Like, you can really do anything you like with them. And I think that that is excellent. It's like, hey man, they're just letting us have fun. You can have so much fun that you can have the eyeballs pop out of the skin over there. That's how much fun you can have. And that's a good amount of fun, right? That is a good amount of fun. You can go anywhere you like, and it just works. It's just fantastic. So, I would say approach this with caution. Go easy, please. And have fun. For the colors, I like to make the eyes a regular size to show them off. Maybe I'll make them a little bit bigger. And yeah, you have some basic choices here that are quote unquote, once again, grounded in reality a little bit. But you can also just go nuts with it, and it displays the color quite nicely. There is definitely more than enough visibility on this, even when you zoom all the way out. It is up to you, once again, to decide how big or small your eyes are, so you've got like full control over that. But the colors display quite nicely, and I am personally quite happy with them. I am quite taken by some of the colors choices that you can make here. It's kind of cool. Yeah, you can do the left eye separately from the right, so you can hit that heterochromia mark quite nicely. But let's move on to the brows. Here we go. Brow size, up or down, bigger or smaller. Brow position, that's again up or down. You can again set your mood of your character, make yourself look a little more stern, serious, or a little more curious. It's kind of cool. You can spread the brows. There you go. Then the depth. You can actually go pretty far with this as well. And then the angle. Yeah, because why not? And I mean, needless to say, you can sort of throw them all to one side and your brows can just sort of disappear into your forehead, or you can throw them all to the other side and they can be, well, like that. So have fun, but be careful. It's a lot of power to put in the hands of a gamer. So eyebrows, very little to see or do here. You can just change the colors. You can set them to the same as the root. You can do whatever. Full RGB once again. So no problem if you want to do whatever you want to do with it. I would say just set it to match your hair color or make it a darker color. It would be cool. I would have liked some eyebrow options because as it stands right now, we all have the same eyebrows, which is a little insulting. Okay, because I have some luscious eyebrows on my head right now. What if I wanted to put them in there? What if they're more luscious than these? Or what if my wife wants her finely tuned brows? You know what I'm saying? That's the one thing I will say could have been added. Nose options. You can go small, you can go big, and you can go everywhere in between. You can like properly go Wicked Witch of the West big. I mean, like you can like really go for it. Swamp Witch, full on teeny weeny nose, like Githyanki style, or you can go full on big, and you can even skinny it out a little bit. There you go. Yeah, why not? Why the heck not? Face shape. These are pretty cool options. They come together to do quite a lot for your character's overall look and feel. Cheeks. Some options here. These are the slightly less impactful ones, I would say. That moves quite a lot forward and backwards, as you can see. But the jaw position is far more visible. Because, I mean, this is like... I mean, that is a style. That's a good-looking face. But if you compare it to this, it's completely different. There's quite a lot that actually moves around and changes there with just this one slider. You can do the jaw spread at the back, make it even more. You can go full David Coulthard here. And yeah, you can even do the depth, which is less visible from the front, but from the side. And you can maximize it on both ways. Yeah, you do you on that. And I mean, they both look okay. Now we kind of look like the guy from, what's his name? The bear, that guy, you know, Iron Claw, whatever his name is. No, okay, maybe not so much. Jeffrey Allen White or something? I can't remember his name. I'm sorry. I didn't watch the bear. All right. Then you can go for the chin size. I actually firmly believe that this is just a fantastic slide. Like from there to there, that's just a great improvement. You know, that's just adding some giga to your Chad, you know? It's good. Chin position, up or down, and chin depth. And if you go all the way this way, it's kind of nuts how small they make your chin. It's like it's gone. It's vanished. And how big they make it. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. Once again, use this sparingly, please. Mouth options. Lip fullness. Yeah. This is whenever someone in a book writes, they drew their lips to a thin line. I'm sorry, I read a lot of books. It's what I picture when they do that. It's what I picture. Like that. Lip width. I'm sorry. They puckered their lips. They were ripe with expectancy. I'm sorry. Okay, I'm stopping. Lip position. Their lips drew up to the... I said I'd stop! Okay! I'm sorry. So there's a lot of lip options. And you can go nuts with them as well. As I said before. You can get the two-face out. That's fantastic. I didn't know you could do that. Oh my god, that's terrifying. That's so cute. It's like Hannibal Lecter here. Oh, sheesh. Look at that. Heck yes, man. Heck yes. Oh. Oh, I didn't know I could do that. Alright. Okay, that's quite cool. Ear options. Nothing to say here. You can go big, you can go small. You can change the position quite nicely. And you can go for the depth. I'm sorry, I'm having fun. Now we're going to move on to the complexion options here. These are the same as on female, but I thought I'd just do them together anyway. Basically, I'll pull the amount all the way to the top. And I'm going to set the color over here to a regular dark color. Just know that I'm pushing it over the edge of where it's supposed to be. So generally you wouldn't want it so much. You'd have the amount lower, you'd have the spread lower, you'd have it look more realistic, you know. I'm just trying to show you what the designs look like here. There's a bunch of freckles, there's some dirt that you can throw on your face here, I think, or some scarring or whatever. Markings, I suppose you could call it. But you can also change the color of said options here. Some more realistic colors here. And then you can just go full RGB on it as well, if you'd like to. Because why not? Yeah. It's cool. It's cool. You can do anything with it. There you go. Right. Lips. Some nice lip options here. I kind of dig them. We'll go for the red that we had before. There we go. That's just around the edges. Some nice bright lipstick. Some slashes across the lip. I don't know what that is, but I like it a lot. You can set a little further down. And we'll take this to show you. You can set the amount, right? And you can set the shine. And then you can set the color fully, any way you want. You can probably do some cool stuff if you combine this with the options available with the godlike features. You can probably make something cool with it. I believe in you guys. I believe. Facial scars. I'm going to set this once again to a dark color. Just know that I'm doing it on purpose. They probably... And I should probably point this out at the start. They look better if you, as an example, go for the proper scar color here. Then it looks like it's actually markings on the face. Like, as an example, these ones look like you have had scars that have healed. But I'm just going to make it darker so you can see the design fully. And then I'll go through it again with the more realistic look. A lot of cool designs here, and if you take this and combine it with the makeup options, then, and even the eyeliner, then you can definitely make some very, very, very cool stuff. Like, there's just a lot here. In the best possible way, there's just a lot here. Like, I specifically like these quite a lot. These two. It's like a fingerprint or like a woody texture or something like that, you know? Then if you set that back to the normal one, then you can see that it looks slightly more natural and it looks like actual scars. And I give it a thumbs up. I give it a hell yes. The scars are incredibly well done. Better than the makeup that we're going to look at in just a moment, for sure. Eyeliner. I'm going to leave the colors like this. These are the colors that I had on the female character. And it's a good look at basically the 3 different color areas. The zones that you can set. And I've got the glossity, the shine set to max. So just realize these colors can be slightly more subtle and it would probably look a little better that way, but this gives you a fantastic look at how you could set it up. Just know that some of these will look really, really, really nice if you actually pay a little attention to and mess with the colors a little bit, you know, but this is a good look at how the different zones look when you color them. Like, these are really nice options. They've done well with this. It's good makeup. That's cool. Wow. I mean, actually, a lot of these are just cool. They look nice. Close or far. They just look good. There you go. Now for the colors, it's like, man, there's really not that much to say, because you can just do what you want with it. You can set the opacity over here. And it would be cool if you could set the opacity of the different zones separately. I don't know how much effort that would be, but it would be cool. You can change the colors to the preset ones that they have here, or you can just go full RGB. And, you know, with that, you can do some interesting stuff, because as an example, I'll just use this as an example. If you go all black on it, then you can have a very particular or specific design. I think I might be missing something somewhere, but it's good enough to show you what I mean. You can have a very specific design with it, and it can look better or worse on certain styles that you have here. So there you go. Makeup options. I mentioned on the female side of things that I was not super impressed by the makeup that they have here. I'll change the colors to a few slightly different ones. And it's mostly the fact that I believe that they could have potentially just made some of these look a little clearer. But overall, there's still a lot of nice designs here. And I think some of them look quite good. Just keep in mind, I've gone for some pretty over-the-top colors here once again. And you can do much more subtle stuff with it. As an example, there is a stubble in here somewhere that I can use if I want to throw stubble on my character's face and have it look sort of more natural. You're obviously not going to make that bright pink. Here's the stubble. It looks really good. I will show it to you right here quickly. The stubble looks really good. It's incredibly well done. But yeah, some of the texture work, I would say, on these ones is not great. And if you change the colors around and you look at it differently, you will see what I mean. But overall, yeah, I mean, I'm still impressed by it. Just less so than the other stuff. Very cool. And again, there are different zones that you can change the colors of. I'm just showing you the basics here. That's it. So for the color options, same selection again, full RGB. But some of these styles, as an example, this one, if you like, as an example, just the lines, you can just have the lines on without the rest of it. And that's pretty cool. Yeah. All right. So makeup is fine. It's good. It's a nice system, and there's a lot of options here that I think could be cool for anyone looking to make their character look more interesting. With that said, however, we are now moving on to the next part of the character creator. It's an interesting part, but before I do that, I'm just going to go back and select a character that we had before. This one is fine, and we'll jump on to our background choices. So your background gives you different options in dialogue, and it determines your starting weapon. Your equipment and abilities and stuff, you can switch that up. It's not important. Okay, it's really not important. Your starting gear, you can change that within a little bit of playing the game. It's like, hey, it's just where you are starting, right? But it does give you a different starting weapon. I will tell you that it would have been cool if they gave you different armor as well, but this is obviously your envoy outfit, so it's kind of important in that way. But let's have a look. So just know the background is important for the story, the dialogue options, and the way you start the game. And it means who you are, so you should pay attention. First up, we have the Arcane Scholar. After graduating with honors from Braggonhill Academy, you published a treatise on soul lineages that threatened the legitimacy and drew the ire of a local lord. When he had you arrested, the Emperor intervened and recruited you into the archives of the Imperial Court. Your mind is a bottomless well of occult knowledge, legal precedent, historical observation, and poetry. You've forgotten more than most people ever learn. Excellent. Court Augur. When your village crops failed, your strange insights and unsettling manner earned your neighbors' suspicion. You foresaw the torches and pitchforks and fled to High Crown, where the Emperor recognized your talents and elevated you from back alley fortune teller to his personal mystic. You've learned how to wield power from the shadows. All it takes is a dash of influence and a pinch of deception. Excellent. Excellent. And you can sort of get an idea of where that'll take you in terms of your starting point and what you'll start with. Noble Scion. And each of these has that very same twist where the Emperor picks you up and you take it from there, because that's where our game starts. You were born to a noble house of great influence, middling wealth, and questionable morals. When scandals and succession disputes saw your family cast down, you threw yourself on the Emperor's mercy, and he shielded you. Canny yet refined, you have become a formidable force at court and an invaluable ally to the Emperor. Vanguard Scout. I can imagine what this is going to start with. Probably going to be one that I pick. Born to humble beginnings and driven to desperation by famine, your life was destined to end on the executioner's block until the Emperor spared you. You're more at ease in the wilderness than in court, but your cleverness and observant nature have made you one of the Emperor's most trusted operatives. Whether tracking prey or spying on enemies, your skills are put to work both inside and out of the throne room. War Hero. You distinguish yourself on the field of battle, fighting a violent Skay Knight uprising, and the Emperor honored you with a place among the elite tallgrass spearmen. Some of your scars are less obvious than others, but you wear them all with pride. The Emperor values your loyalty with grit and your martial prowess. Yeah, the Emperor values your loyalty, your grit, and your martial prowess. Excellent. Excellent. Now, that's the backgrounds done. I would probably pick Vanguard Scout for myself. It's an important choice, but I think that it won't change the foundation of the game, and it won't change so much so that you're going to be sort of, you know, missing out on specific things if you pick one over the other. But our next port of call is the attribute point section. Here, you get given a set of attribute points. I'll show you how many exactly. You get 10 points, and I love the way that they've presented this. I like the way that they tell you, as an example on Might, that it's a great all-round choice for dealing more damage, or on Constitution, it gives you more survivability. You know, it's really well put together, and it basically gives you all you need to make informed decisions right here at the start. Beginning with Might, a character's physical and spiritual strength, brute force, as well as the ability to channel powerful magic. This increases the damage from all sources, your damage. Also increases your carry capacity, which is the amount of weapons and armor you can carry before becoming encumbered. And again, great all-around choice for dealing more damage. Each click gives you a certain amount over there, and you can see it, but you can only put 3 points in each. Constitution is a combination of the character's overall health and endurance. It increases your maximum health and your resistance to the poisoned and bleeding statuses. This improves your survivability if you like to be in the fray. Quite a bit, it would seem. Dexterity. A character's hand-eye coordination, balance, and overall grace increases your attack speed with weapons and abilities, as well as your action speed, equips, consumable use, and parkour, and then also the reload speed. Good for builds where mobility is key, and the flexible use of your arsenal. So that is also quite a lot, that it gives you 20% action speed and 11% attack speed. Perception, characters' senses, as well as their instinctive ability to pick up on details. This increases your critical hit chance and your maximum range for weapons. Wands, guns, and bows will be more effective at longer distances with perception. It's ideal for rangers and casters who favor ranged weapons. This also gives you critical hit, which is nice. Intellect, character's logic and reasoning capabilities. This increases your maximum essence and your resistance to the ignited, shocked, and frozen statuses. It's good for wizards who focus on spell casting. And then your resolve. So your internal drive, determination, and fearlessness increases your maximum stamina and the frequency and efficiency of second wind. When taking lethal damage, you will fight off death more frequently and jump back with more health. It's good for warriors who need to swing heavy weapons and survive big hits. There you go. So as I mentioned, you can put about 3 in each of these. So depending on what you're making, you can sort of spread it around a little bit. There you go. And that's that. Pretty cool. I like it. I like that it's simple, not too much going into it. And I like how clear they were about how all of it worked. Our final step, the finalization. Here you get to pick the general options. You get to pick your game difficulty. It goes from story time all the way up to Path of the Damned. On story time, the difficulty is recommended for players who are more interested in exploration and story rather than the challenge of combat. It is biased in the player's favor. Easy is minimal strategization and easily forgives mistakes in combat, recommended for those who are new to action-based RPGs. Normal is normal. Yeah, it forgives a few mistakes in combat. Hard is suited for action RPG players who are looking for a challenge. Survival requires strategization of stats through different equipment, abilities, and upgrades, and then Path of the Damned is for the nuts people out there, the crazies. It's only intended for players who desire the most punishing encounters. It requires mastermind strategization of builds and loadouts, and above all, perseverance, because you're going to probably die a lot. But this can be changed at any point, so no matter what you pick, you can come back and you can just, I think in the options menu, you can just flick it from one to the other. Voices. Character voices. Here we go.
Silmes metum!
Silmes metum!
Worth and Wrath!
Quethi silmes metum! Worth and Wrath!
Silmes metum!
Quethi silmes metum!
Silmes metum! Worth and Wrath!
Uluthan!
Worth and Wrath!
Quethi silmes metum!
Decent. Good voices, standard stuff, cool. You can set your identifier. You can be she, they, or he. Awesome. If this is not awesome to you, for whatever reason, you can turn it off in your character sheet. I mean, I don't know. It's like if that triggers you, I feel you got bigger problems to worry about than it displayed in your character sheet. But hey, if you don't want it displayed there, you can do that. Cool. Then you can also, once again here, just change if you want to display the godlike features on or off, right? So it's just the same options we had before. And then you can set your name. You can be called Envoy. That's the default. That's what they're all going to call you in the game anyway. But you can set that to anything you like. And boom, boom, boom. You are done. You've made your character fantastic. That, my friends, is going to bring us to the end of the character creation system. If you'd like to see the extras that I made, if you'd like to see the characters that I made for the thumbnail or just for fun, you can skip to that using the timestamps. Right now, however, the outro. The whole character creation system here has like a whimsical charm to it, and I love the inspiration they drew from the world of Eora, from the Pillars of Eternity lore. It's all fresh and vibrant and exciting and unique. And the way that you can present all of that on your character for everyone to see is just fantastic. They've done some over-the-top stuff with it, but they did it in a way that allows us to just make things more exciting for us. And you know, that's what you want. You want your character to feel exciting. You want to be enthusiastic about seeing your character on the screen in front of you. So I'm pretty impressed by it. They've done a fantastic job. The godlike features, obviously front and center. The stuff that I like the most. Like, needless to say, it's incredibly cool. I think if they had to make some of those slightly modular, then this might be the ultimate. But as it is, it's really cool. It's incredibly well done. If I had to give any advice, I would say that one thing. It would be cool if we could have modular options for the godlike features. It would also be nice if we had a little bit more control over the body. Even if it's just muscularity, you know, not shape so much. Even if it's just muscularity. I'd like to zoom in a little bit closer on the faces. And then I'd like to be able to randomize. But that's it. I love the rest of it, and I have nothing further to add. The game looks awesome, and we have the option to make our characters look awesome to match it. And that's more than enough for me. Thumbs up. 2 thumbs up. I would love to hear what you guys think about the character creation system. I'd love to hear if you were able to make a character that worked for you. And I'd also love to hear about the game itself, if you've been enjoying it. If you have any input or criticism for the devs, please leave it below, because they do watch these videos. I usually send it straight to them when I'm finished. Hey, sometimes you could be part of the change that you want to see. So leave those comments if you so desire. You can, as always, check back here soon for more. Give this one a like and share it and do all that other good stuff. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I appreciate it when you guys do. If you want to find my links, you can find them below my Ko-fi page, my Twitch channel, and all the rest. And if you're jumping in to make those envoys, enjoy. Happy that.